Okay, so imagine this, right? A billionaire sleepover at Mar-a-Lago.
Okay.
But instead of like sharing ghost stories or whatever,
Yeah.
there's this like power struggle going on.
Right.
That's the kind of surprisingly tense relationship between Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
Yeah, it's
We're looking at reporting from Maggie Haberman at the New York Times as shared by this political commentator.
yeah. It's a really fascinating dynamic. You have Musk, right? A major Trump donor.
Right.
Spending a lot of time at Mar-a-Lago, even staying in a cottage on the property.
Wow.
At first, it seemed like, classic political alliance.
Uh-huh.
But we're starting to see some cracks.
Before we get into all that,
Yeah.
if you're into these kinds of behind-the-scenes glimpses into, power and influence,
Yeah.
hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future episodes.
Yeah. And Haberman's reporting is really interesting because it reveals that Trump has been privately griping about Musk being at Mar-a-Lago all the time.
Really?
Yeah, it's like he's bothered by all the attention Musk gets and feels.
Overshadowed.
Yeah, a little overshadowed.
By Elon Musk. That's not something you usually think about with Donald Trump.
Exactly, and that's why this whole thing is so interesting, right? Trump is used to being around people who, let's just say, sing his praises.
Right.
Musk is not one of those people.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to challenge Trump. Which is interesting, but could also be causing some tension.
This commentator pointed out that Musk's wealth and his fame and his kind of diverse fan base give him a lot of leverage.
Oh, yeah.
They even mentioned something about space sex, which I'll admit made me raise an eyebrow.
Well, that's Musk, always pushing boundaries.
Right.
But seriously, though, those assets, the wealth, the fame, the ability to connect with so many different people, that makes him valuable to someone like Trump.
I could see that.
But it also makes him a potential threat.
So it's this strange mix, right?
Right.
You benefit, but also this tension.
Right.
It's like a high-stakes game where they meet each other, but they're also worried about being outmaneuvered.
And to make things even more complicated, we have Steve Bannon, a former Trump advisor, publicly criticizing Musk. This commentator suggested that Bannon's negativity is coming from
jealousy.
Yeah, a bit of jealousy.
Of Musk's access to Trump.
Exactly, and the influence that comes with that.
It's like a political soap opera or something.
There's definitely a lot of drama going on.
For sure.
But, beneath the surface, there are some important questions here about power dynamics and political strategy.
Sure.
Okay, think about this. Trump praises Musk publicly, but then privately complains about him.
Wow.
What does that tell us about who really has the power here?
It almost feels like Musk has the upper hand. Trump won't criticize him openly because he's worried about alienating him.
It's possible.
Who needs who more in this weird alliance? What do you think is causing all this tension? Is it just ego, or are there deeper political differences? Let us know in the comments.
That's a great question.
And if you're finding this analysis interesting, hit that like button.
We'll explore that question more as we dig deeper into this complicated dynamic.
Okay, let's move on to what this commentator sees as the most likely outcome of this whole alliance.
Yeah.
A spectacular crash.
Wow.
They're arguing that Trump's ego just won't let him be outshone for very long.
Right?
What are your thoughts on that? Is it just ego driving this?
Ego definitely plays a role, but I think there's more to it than that.
Like what?
Well, they might share some interests, right? Disrupting the status quo, challenging conventional thinking.
Yeah.
But their approaches to achieving those goals are totally different.
You're right. It's like they're both trying to climb the same mountain.
Yeah.
But using completely different paths and equipment.
Exactly.
One is relying on instinct and gut feeling. And the other is all about data and engineering.
Right. And that difference in approach could lead to some serious conflict, especially when the stakes are this high.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to mix oil and water,
Right.
They might seem to blend for a bit eventually.
Right.
Exactly. And in this case, the stakes are incredibly high.
Yeah, for sure.
We're not talking about some playground argument.
Right.
Their decisions and actions have a real impact on, millions, if not billions of people.
That's true.
A major clash between Trump and Musk could have huge consequences.
Absolutely. Their influence goes way beyond their own little worlds, right?
Oh, yeah.
Trump with his political power and Musk with his technology and all his money.
Right.
They have a lot of influence over where society is going.
For sure.
A serious conflict between them could have ripple effects across industries, even global politics.
Absolutely.
This commentator also made a point that really stuck with me.
Okay.
They said that Trump only complaining about Musk in private might actually mean that Musk has more power in this relationship.
It's like Trump is afraid to challenge him publicly.
That's a really sharp observation. It shows how power works, especially in these weird alliances.
Right.
Trump, despite all his bravado, seems to recognize that Musk is in a unique position. He can't just dismiss him or control him like he does with other people in his inner circle.
Yeah, it's almost like the roles are reversed.
Right.
You'd expect Trump to be the one in charge, calling all the shots.
Yeah.
But here he seems to be walking on eggshells around Musk.
It makes you wonder what could happen if they really clash.
It's not a straightforward power struggle.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on beneath the surface.
And don't forget.
What's that?
Musk isn't a normal political player.
True.
He's not bound by the same rules or expectations.
Right.
He's willing to take risks, speak his mind, challenge the status quo, even if it upsets powerful people like Trump.
Yeah, that makes him both valuable and dangerous for Trump.
Exactly.
On the one hand, Musk's outsider perspective and his ability to connect with a different audience. T?
Yeah.
That could be really good for Trump.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, Trump probably finds his independent streak super frustrating.
Oh, absolutely.
Musk doesn't play the loyalty game like a lot of Trump's other allies.
Right. He's loyal to his own vision and goals.
Yeah.
And he's not afraid to push back against Trump if he needs to.
It's a fascinating dynamic, right? This alliance between these two larger-than-life figures.
Yeah.
Each with their own ambitions and agendas.
For sure.
And it brings up some interesting questions.
Like what?
Like, could this clash of personalities actually derail projects or initiatives that they both support? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you're liking the analysis, don't forget to leave a like.
It's definitely a possibility, and it really highlights the complexity of these relationships.
It does. Yeah, it really makes you wonder, will their shared interests be enough, to outweigh their personalities?
Right. That's the big question.
Or are we heading for a political explosion?
It all comes down to whether their ambitions, line up enough to overcome their different approaches.
Okay.
Trump loves chaos and attention.
Uh-huh.
Musk, well, he's definitely a provocateur too.
Yeah.
Seems more focused on concrete goals, like revolutionizing transportation space travel.
So you're saying their ambition might not be enough to overcome their personalities and their different working styles.
Exactly. Think about it. Trump operates mostly on instinct.
Right.
And Musk relies a lot on data and engineering.
Uh-huh.
Those are totally different ways of approaching problems, and that difference could cause friction, especially when the stakes are so high.
This commentator even predicted a messy breakup.
Oh, wow.
They said, Trump's ego just won't stand for being outshone for too long.
Right.
So what would that look like? What could happen if these two have a major falling out?
Well, Trump-Musk feud could get really ugly really fast.
How so?
Trump is known for being vindictive.
Yeah.
If he feels betrayed or slighted by Musk, he could use his platform to try to discredit Musk and hurt his reputation.
And knowing Musk, he wouldn't just take that lying down.
No way.
He's not afraid of a public fight, especially on social media.
Exactly. We could see a very public, very nasty feud with both of them using all their resources to attack each other.
And that wouldn't just affect their personal relationship, would it?
No, it could impact their businesses, their political alliances, even how the public sees them.
So a public feud could alienate investors, customers, even voters.
Yeah, and it could create a lot of uncertainty in the markets and in politics.
It's a scenario with potentially huge consequences.
Absolutely.
It really shows the risks when you have these powerful personalities forming these unusual alliances.
For sure.
This has been a fascinating look at the whole Trump-Musk dynamic.
Yeah, it has.
But like you said, this story is far from over.
Not even close.
What should our listeners be watching for as this relationship develops?
Well, first, keep an eye on how their individual ambitions play out.
Okay.
Are they really aligned, or are they just not compatible? Second, pay attention to how they deal with disagreements. Can they compromise, or will their different styles lead to conflict?
And lastly,
watch for any changes in their alliances.
Interesting.
Will they stick with their current partners, or will they look for new allies who are a better fit for their goals?
It's all about who's playing the game, right?
Exactly. The answers to those questions will determine what happens with this unusual and potentially explosive alliance.
This has been a great look into the world of Trump and Musk. And as always, we want to hear from you. Do you think this alliance will fall apart because of their personalities? Or can their shared ambition keep them together? Let us know in the comments, and if you like this analysis, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more discussions on power politics and the people who shape our world.